we need to have an honest conversation. I just had what I felt like was an honest conversation with my wife. I discussed irrational fears. See, I'll spell it out for you. I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. If the point is for us to have an honest talk, then we need to be talking. So here it is. I haven't worked in almost a year. In fact, if you go look at videos from this time last year, I was talking about being ready to get laid off because I was doing 50, 60, 70 hours every week, and I had been for a while, and I was tired. And while I enjoyed my job and I enjoyed what I did and I was good at it, there was still the feeling of not being home for 65, 70 hours a week, physically getting up and going. And I hated it. It's the wife. She doesn't want to interrupt me because she's beautiful, beautiful girl. Hi, baby. So yeah, it was easy. 50, 60 hours. It was like I was just not at home. And like, I rarely got weekends off. I think I ended up towards the end of my schedule. I was just off on Saturdays, and then it was like Sunday, right back to the grind, And so yeah, I wanted a break, and I got a break, and then they paid me for unemployment for like 8 months, which was nice, and then tax money rolled right into that, and we were just fine. And then we found ourselves in this position. Well, it's time to go back to work, and it's time to do something. And it just so happens that randomly, my wife landed a good job, just out of nowhere, just landed it. And I ended up getting a job with this particular company that I don't work for, but I still rock the shirt because it's big and comfortable. So the decision was made that because of distance and other financial concerns, I would bow down, well, rather bow out, and let Asia go back to work because it was close by. It was more convenient. This was good. It was in her field. It was like she's studying integrative health. She is a physical therapy clinic. Like, she wants to be a doctor. She works around doctors. It made sense to me. And I used that as my justified excuse to do nothing. And I even told myself on occasion that, oh man, it feels great to be at home and not be worried about bills. But the truth is, I'm still here and I'm still worried about bills. And not only am I worried about bills, I'm not actively contributing to getting rid of these bills. I am successfully tacking on other things. Like, I have become a burden. So I sat my wife down and I gave her this whole speech about how it's time I go back to work. And she's right. She never once complained. She not once said, oh, look, we don't have anything. This is your fault. Carry your ass back to work. And I wanted to be mad at her for not being mad. But at the same time, she's not wrong, because when the roles were reversed and I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and she like wouldn't even get up to like see me off in the morning because it was early in the morning. It was like nobody batted an eye. Nobody was like, oh yeah, look at lazy old Asia. Like, she still did her things around the house and she took care of stuff. And I attempt to half-ass do those things when she's at work. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't even bother to try. I chalk it up to, oh, there's other things to do. Like, if we're just being honest, all of this came from the rent just went up. Today, allegedly, is the last day to sign up for their new thing. And I have been avoiding having a conversation with these people because, I didn't want to look up and then they say, oh, well, we got to give you 60 days notice because that's the amount that we would be fortunate enough to have. But I didn't want to rock the boat with them because Because we've been here for 6 years, because Asia lives close by, because I didn't want to rock the boat work wise. Like, if we move further out, it's just going to become a much more difficult problem for Asia to get back and forth. And then we're going to end up in a place where the money that we're saving by not paying the rent, we're just going to have to supplement with spending more money on transportation. So moving is really not necessarily solving the problem. It's putting a band-aid on the problem. The problem can be corrected if I went back to work. You see, we made the mistake of being in a bad place and we got up under a loan. And then to get out from under that loan, we got another loan, and then a third loan, and then the first loan hit us hard. We forgotten about it, and they got us with a late fee and a fine, and it's just we currently have 1.5 loans out, and it's like not enough money to pay the rent on the fifth. So what do we have to do? We're gonna have to come to some kind of settlement arrangement with the loan people while actively taking another loan to pay for the previous 2 loans and to pay rent. And that's not gonna take care of any bills that we have to. So, and all of this while trying to prepare for Power Morphicon. Like, realistically speaking, I should just cancel this whole trip. I should just chalk it up as a loss. I should sell the tickets. I should just like, oh, I got an SPD uniform. That's fucking cool, but I won't do that to her. I won't do that to me. I want to go on this trip. She wants to go on this trip. There are people we want to see on this trip. So we're going to take the trip. Like, it's gonna cost me another $250 to rent a room while we're out there. It's gonna cost me another almost $200 to get a car to get out there. So it's gonna cost us quite a bit, and it would be fine if we weren't under these 2 loans. It's like, honestly, we could just go and just get 2 loans and be like, oh man, we got these 2 loans. Now we have to start paying them back slowly, and we would get on the payment plan, and for about a month or so we would be a little behind, and it just meant that, we wouldn't be able to get cushies for a while. But it's harder because there's just so much going on, and there are numbers going on in my head, and I need to work this out because, truth be told, as convenient as it would be for me to go back to work, it's almost inconvenient if I do, because now there's more money being spent for me to go out and do, like, transportation wise, but we could use the extra money. Then there's the argument of, well, when would we see each other? Because I'm guaranteed as security to work on weekends and not just be able to work during the week. Like, that's a cushy fucking schedule to have. And it's like Monday through Friday, Asia knows exactly where she's going to be. That wouldn't be the case for me with security. So, when would we see each other? But you think that there are plenty of working couples. It's like, and this is a problem that they have. On off days, they get to spend time together. Maybe it would make us appreciate that more. Maybe I'm just so spoiled because at any given point, one of us has not been employed, except for the time when we were both employed, but we worked in the same place, so we got to see each other as often as we wanted to. Maybe I'm spoiled by that, and that's just not the way to go about it anymore. Maybe it's time for me to get off my ass and go back to work. Or maybe it's time for me to let go of this unnecessary guilt that I put on myself and accept that me staying at home and having all these benefits to knowing I'll be here when you get off, to me helping out around the house, to me being able to be here to do the things for her, to help her go, the cost of that will be we're not always going to have a whole lot of money. Ultimately, I've got to go back to work. But I also know that I can't keep kicking myself for it. I can't keep beating myself over the head for not doing this. We agreed to this. We knew what this was going in. So it's wrong of me to act like, oh, this is brand fucking new, things gotta change. Things gotta change. Like my wife just told me, she's like, "Hey, it's just stuff. I'm not interested in stuff. We together. Like that's all I care about. We together." And it's like I gotta stop comparing her to these Johnny come lately chicks on the street who just, oh, a man can't take me to Applebee's or Benihana's. Is Benihana's still a thing? These ain't dates. You don't just take me. You gotta take me out to the fucking. I don't know. In Red Lobster, is Red Lobster an expensive thing? They want you to drive them around in your expensive car, take them to expensive places, and buy them expensive things, all for maybe that we might end up together. And it's just like, who the fuck got time for that? Like, I don't have time to be bothered with that. I forgot where I was going with that. It's just time for me to go back to work, y'all. Can't keep beating around the bush. Can't keep half-assing the case. There's only so many times you can move the numbers around before the numbers just ain't there. I think I'm afraid of being seen as a deadbeat. Honestly, I think that's what it is. Like, what will people think if Asia works and I'm not working? Like, the little fancy foo-foo shit that comes up, like the sewage is $47 a month extra. It's like, we could fucking deal with it. Like, we could work it out if we had to. I need to stop feeling guilty, but I also not need to be so comfortable with where I am that I don't want more. I need to be able to want more, but accept that there's not more yet. So, I hope this makes sense. I'm tired, and I need to do more.